I have never ever seen something like this, and I love it so much. It just has a scale to it. It has a beauty to it. It has a philosophy to it. It's absolutely incredible. New York City has captured my imagination for countless of years. And as my 41st birthday approached, a spark ignited within me. I had to do it. I finally wanted to check off this bucket list item, and now was the perfect time. So I booked a flight across the Atlantic Ocean to fulfill my very dream. I treated myself to a birthday vacation to visit this magnificent city for the first time. And so my journey began. I picked a cool little room in Jersey City with amazing views across the Hudson River because any hotel room in Manhattan City is very expensive and triple the budget I was available to provide. And you know what? I'm glad I chose Jersey City because the views of the iconic Manhattan skyline across the Hudson River were so magical and had such a profound impact on me that it became my theme and actually one of my favorite things to do during my stay in New York. Just to sit there and watch the beautiful skyline and become one with the city's atmosphere. And secretly, I had two other reasons for this epic endeavor. This journey was also an educational one for me. For the past 5 years, I have been working on a fictional novel, and I wanted to experience a certain thing located in New York City in real life that has a part in my novel. And furthermore, I love the moon, especially the full moon. It captivates me every month, and I wanted to recreate this magnificent shot of the Statue of Liberty and the full moon rising behind it. So let's find out if I managed to successfully recreate this beautiful photo. But before that, on the day of departure, I was very excited and of course very happy when I found out that I could enjoy a calm and comfortable empty cabin on board my Delta Boeing 767 flight to JFK Airport. For the major part of my life, I wanted to become a real-life pilot. And I even worked as a real-life flight attendant, and much of my life was devoted to learning all aspects about aviation. But now, as I grow older, how come that I have a little bit of a fear of flying or so? Or was it just the overall excitement? I do not know, but I was very nervous in the beginning. After a few hours, I was fine, and actually I was smiling for the majority of the 8-hour hop across the North Atlantic Ocean. I was watching the clouds, the ocean beneath me, and also a few movies. Shortly after the landing, the smile vanished a little bit when I had to actually wait for a full 2 hours in line for the passport border immigration control, but I managed to get through and it was all fine. Soon after, the smile returned as I finally arrived at my accommodation, which greeted me with an unbelievable sight of the panoramic view of Manhattan. I just couldn't believe it. And even though I started to get a bit tired and exhausted from the long journey and the jet lag, I sat there deep into the night on my day of the arrival and just enjoyed watching the city lights. I'm so overwhelmed and so speechless at what I'm looking at that I cannot speak about it. I shall just show you. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to New York. This is my view from the rooftop terrace. I'm in New Jersey actually right now, and There is the Half Moon and Jersey City, the Hudson River. Oh, Jesus. I have never ever seen something like this. I truly could not understand and believe it. This vista, for the first time, seeing the New York skyline, will ever be engraved in my mind. After just a short night, which was round about 2 hours of sleep because of excitement and jet lag, I couldn't sleep that well, I went down to the Hudson River waterfront to get greeted by a golden morning sunlight to mark the amazing start of my 4-day exploration adventure. As a first task, I booked a sightseeing boat ride with the classic harbor lines. I opted for the architecture boat tour, which brought us all around the Manhattan Island in round about 3 hours. There was a very knowledgeable native New Yorker as a tour guide on board who narrated the trip, and of course I got to see all the iconic and famous landmarks. From the majestic Statue of Liberty, who greets the sailors arriving from a very long journey across the Atlantic Ocean, to the magnificent skyline filled with high rises of downtown Manhattan. We passed under the Brooklyn Bridge and many more bridges.
Now traffic proved so heavy on the Brooklyn Bridge that 3 more East River bridges were constructed.
I saw the United Nations headquarters, which I visited later on this day as well. Passing from old established buildings and neighborhoods to the modern steel and glass high-rises. I even got a glimpse of the Concorde aircraft at the Intrepid Air and Sea Museum, which also was on my agenda for the next day. I truly enjoy planning out trips in advance, especially when there is so much to do and so much to explore and experience, like here in New York City. I wanted to pack as many things as possible into the 4 days of adventure, and therefore, right after the really enjoyable boat ride and circumnavigation around Manhattan Island, I hopped on a bus which brought me all across Manhattan to the United Nations headquarters, where I took a guided tour. I somehow always was intrigued and fascinated by the atmosphere and the look of the significant rooms like the General Assembly Hall or the Security Council chamber, in which such important and impactful meetings are held that hopefully continue to shape our safe and peaceful global future. Over the years, the United Nations have received several gifts from many nations all across the globe to be displayed here in the headquarters. As I enjoy looking and consuming art and also sometimes creating a painting here and there myself, I had a great time exploring the different paintings and statues and artifacts on display. And also the views from within to its surrounding are really unique, and I love a good view. I do highly recommend attending a guided tour. They are reasonably priced and available in several languages. Since the Grand Central Terminal is just round about 3 blocks from the East River, where the UN headquarters are located, I hopped on another short little bus ride to get to see the grand, iconic and famous hall in which this incredible and very famous photograph from the 1930s was taken. I wanted to get a short glimpse of the place just so that I can say I was there. And just a few metro stops further down the city, I got to see the also very iconic and famous 22-story flat iron building. Formerly it was called the Fuller Building, and I was slightly disappointed when I saw it was all surrounded with the scaffolding for reparation or restoration. It's fine though, this gives me a reason to go back to New York, because already from the day one I knew I love New York and it really resonated with me. Up until now, it has been a long but incredible and beautiful day for me so far, and slowly but surely my feet got a little bit heavy, but I had to keep going, and while I was there right beside the Flatiron Building, there lies the Harry Potter New York gift store, and I just had to have a short little look, since of course I also just love the Harry Potter series. I then concluded my first day ever in Manhattan with a relaxing evening snack and some more being totally mesmerized and in awe of the skyline and the city lights at night. Good night. And on the second morning, it was a Saturday, I wanted to begin the day and the weekend with a visit to the 9/11 memorial site. I did not book the museum experience, I just wanted to take in the atmosphere and sights and sounds of this historical significant location. As a native European from a relatively small city with not many tall international high rises and skyscrapers, I constantly was astounded by the scale of everything, and also the sheer size and architecture of everything continues to fascinate me. In 2003, New York launched an international competition to choose a design for the permanent memorial at the World Trade Center site. 5,200 submissions were entered from 63 countries. The design, which is called Reflecting Absence, was chosen as the winning entry. The memorial pools contain the largest man-made waterfall in North America, each dropping 30 feet down. And of course, the 2,983 names are engraved in the bronze plating, etching all alongside the pools. Next up, I thought about getting a cool picture with the Charging Bull bronze sculpture down at the end of the Broadway, where many people were thinking the same, so a just very short visit here that I can also say I have seen it and I've been here. That suits me just fine, thank you very much. So it was time for me to choose my next location of exploration, and I wanted to see the real Concorde up close now. On my way to the Intrepid Air and Sea Museum, I passed a cute little church called the Nuestra Señora de Guadalupe in San Bernardo. I sat down for a few moments to escape the hustle and bustle of the city and just to be actively thankful and grateful that I am here in New York and get to see and visit this mega cool city for the first time. A few bus stops later, I arrived at the Hudson Pier number 86, where the Intrepid Air and Space Museum is located. The USS Intrepid, a World War II era aircraft carrier, which was launched in 1943 and transformed into the museum, which opened in 1982. My highlight would have been to get to see the Space Shuttle Enterprise up close, but it was closed during my visit, so I treated myself to the guided tour of the Concorde, where I could actually go inside the iconic supersonic aircraft cabin and cockpit. An actual veteran told us a few stories and facts and figures about the Concorde's history, which I found pretty cool that real people still engage and firsthand present and talk about exhibits in museums. And of course, I also got to see other few cool aircrafts and the skyline of Midtown Manhattan, and also this huge cruise ship was just about to depart. The top location I visited on my second day in New York was the top of the rocks observation deck of the Rockefeller Center. I was pondering a lot about which observation platform to visit. The highest one would be the One World Trade Center, but it was all enclosed inside, and I think I will keep this also for my next visit. The Edge platform was a bit too far out from the dense area of Midtown, not surrounded by all the other skyscrapers. And then it came down to the Rockefeller Center or the Empire State Building. I thought I wanted to have the Empire State Building within my shot or within my photos, so I opted for the Rockefeller Center. Because of course you cannot see the Empire State Building when you are on top of the Empire State Building. And I truly enjoyed the 360 degrees open fresh air views. Even though the Rockefeller Center is a little bit smaller than the other platforms, I still had an incredible view. After this great visual experience, I settled in and relaxed at my accommodation a little bit, and after a slight slumber at around 10 in the evening, I was awoken by a constant fire truck siren sound. The city that never sleeps, and in my high-rise, in my skyscraper, at 10 at night, I just woke up because of the fire brigade. We had an actual fire alarm. I don't know what is happening or where or how or what. But yeah, this is New York. The moon is shining. The city is bustling. And I just exited the building. It doesn't seem too bad. I went down the escape staircase, and I hope everything will be fine. Jesus Christ. And luckily, it was. At street level, there is a coffee shop that just had some sort of false alarm or a bit of a smoke detection in the kitchen, and I only saw the fire brigade venting the entire coffee shop with a huge fan. And that was actually it. It was an interesting experience. I truly got a bit scared because I never had a situation like this. And even as a kid, I always was scared when in school the pre-announced fire test alarm came on and we had to practice the evacuation. But my heart rate still was going very much. Luckily, all was well and I could go back inside after 10 minutes or so. And then finally I could get a good night's sleep and wake up fully relaxed on the next Sunday morning. Time for some art on this fine Sunday morning, and which place better than to experience all the famous artworks of Jackson Pollock, Salvador Dali, Rothko, Andy Warhol, de Kooning, Matisse, Magritte, Picasso and Van Gogh, and many, many more at the MoMA, the Museum of Modern Arts. And even the museum itself is somehow a bit of an artwork. The large floor-to-ceiling windows gave an incredible view of the surrounding dense uptown city skyscrapers. And another iconic architectural landmark is the Salomon Guggenheim Museum, designed by the famous architect Frank Lloyd Wright. I did not visit the exhibition from this museum, but the outside design is all the exhibition I needed. Very unique and very famous. I love it. And since the Guggenheim Museum lies right beside the Central Park, it was time for me to go for a nice Sunday stroll through the green heart of Manhattan. Central Park must be one of the most incredible places on Earth. This man-made park is 4 kilometers long and 850 meters wide, and it offers truly a piece of tranquility, nature, entertainment, sports activity, and sights and sounds for absolutely everyone. I walked by the Belvedere Castle, through the dense woodlands of the Ramble, where the cutest dog took a casual chillaxing bath in the refreshing stream. I walked across the beautiful Bow Bridge and seen a cool drum circle near the Bethesda Fountain. The Sheep Meadow opened up to a view of the most expensive and iconic skyline of uptown Manhattan. And then it was time for some good old Beatles appreciation at the Imagine mosaic of the Strawberry Fields. I walked all the way to Columbus Circle, which gave me a first taste of what was about to come. It all got more dense and more busy and more populated, and I was truly pondering about whether I shall not go visit the Times Square. I have walked for several kilometers this day, and I might not be the most comfortable in very busy and noisy and overly populated areas, but I actually was fine, and I truly enjoyed myself. I just dove right into the absolute atmosphere of colorful lights and sounds, and for around about 15 minutes I could even relax and sit there in the infamous red stairs above the ticket sellers for the Broadway shows. And I really enjoyed a short little chat with 3 Mexicans who were there celebrating the independence of Mexico amidst many, many other Mexicans on a very full and packed Times Square that evening. Time for a unique birthday experience and a relaxing final day. Happy birthday, Tomo! On this fine Sunday morning, on my 41st birthday, I explored the Newport Pier to receive my daily dose of epic Manhattan skyline views. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to downtown Manhattan, New York City, 2024. I'm here for my very holiday and for my birthday. It's actually my birthday today, in front of this most incredible city panoramic view of Manhattan. And I'm right now in Liberty State Park in New Jersey, and just over there we have, of course, the Statue of Liberty, which is very incredible as well. I have seen it from a boat ride from the classic harbor cruise line, which I did a few days ago. And yeah, here I am celebrating my birthday, walking around in this incredible park. It's a Monday today, so not too packed. It's a little windy, a little cloudy, and I'm here on a mission. I have peeked out and planned out this very trip with the full moon. More or less today or tomorrow is full moon, and in a few hours, in 2 hours, over there, the full moon shall rise. I was planning and hoping of getting a shot of the Statue of Liberty and the full moon behind it, but I would have to walk quite another few kilometers for this particular shot. And let's see if I do it. I'm not quite sure, but this blows my actual mind. I cannot comprehend the skyline anymore. I arrived here on Thursday, 5 days ago, and since then I'm just in awe. Like, I cannot believe what I have done. I booked this trip 4 weeks ago, just casually for my birthday, which is today, 16th of September 2024. I'm 41 now, and I said, hey, I have to visit at least once in my life New York. Here I am, all on my own, Liberty State Park. And yeah, as you may have seen in my collage and visual collection earlier, I've been to the United Nations, I've been on top of Rockefeller Center, I've been to the Times Square, I've been to Ground Zero over there, I've been to the Intrepid Air and Space Museum, I've been inside of the actual Concorde aircraft. I have never ever been in such awe for that long. I've been to Sydney, I've been to Bangkok, to Paris, to London, to Valencia and Barcelona, and to Moscow as well, to Helsinki and to Stockholm. But Manhattan, New York is the place to be. I love it so much. I don't know what to say, I don't know what to think. This is just the first fresh little live reaction recap for myself and trying to comprehend what is going on. I love the atmosphere, the energy, the views. This is actually my favorite part. The views of the skyline is just... I have never ever seen something like this, and I love it so much. It just has a scale to it. It has a beauty to it. It has a philosophy to it. It's absolutely incredible. And yeah, I continue to be overwhelmed, and I continue to enjoy my birthday and my trip in New York. This is... I don't know when I can fully realize it. Maybe when I edit the photos, maybe when I edit the videos, maybe never, maybe in a few weeks or a few days, maybe... Who knows? Who knows? Yeah, I continue my holiday, my walks, my photo and video taking, and the absolute beauty of New York.
Isn't that poetic and beautiful? And yes, I got my shot, it was incredible, and many others had the idea too. There were professional camera equipment and tripods, and everyone was chasing down this iconic and very beautiful shot. Here is my version. Enjoy.
There is a big school of geese or birds or whatever, and I have to wake them up right now. So here we go. I'm walking towards them now. I hope they will not attack me or so. You guys, there we go. Yes, 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 yes. Oh. Into the full moon they go. That was the best thing I have ever done. Happy birthday! Beautiful. So, good night. Bye bye.
And just like that, 4 full days of epic exploration have passed, and what more else was there to do for me? Well, I couldn't resist to go down once more to the waterfront and have a good look at the incredible skyline of the city that never sleeps, and have a short little meditation with just the water waves running up ashore. I made my way back to JFK Airport with a few hours to spare because I could not resist having a grand epic finale to my trip. I treated myself and checked in for a few hours into the TWA hotel right inside JFK Airport. And it was amazing. I'm so glad I did this. As soon as I stepped into the grand foyer, I got transported back into the 60s and the golden era of jet setting and aviation. There were a few original artifacts and showrooms on display, a few company uniforms, and I've seen fountains. The DeLorean was outside on the display, the original TWA departure board in the foyer, and I got to see the Connie, the super constellation from TWA. And that was it. That was my vlog. Thanks for watching. I had an incredible time in New York City, in USA, for the first time. I can't wait to go back at least once more in my life. Those memories will stick for a very long time with me now. And yeah, I was very thrilled and excited, and it was just amazing. Thanks for watching. See you next time around. Bye bye.